Coming up on Network Africa, the US, UK and Norway warn rivals in South Sudan against taking unilateral action as peace talks hit gridlock. The WHO's chief calls on the world not to forget the Ebola crisis still ravaging the Democratic Republic of Congo. Plus, South Africa commemorates Nelson Mandela's prison release 30 years on. Hello and welcome to the program. I'm Layo Adegoke. The US, UK and Norway is warning warring rivals in South Sudan against taking a unilateral action after talks to try and end 6 years of fighting hit a gridlock this week. The Troika told President Salva Kiir and his rival Riek Machar to agree on the number of federal states, a major sticking point in the long-drawn negotiations, or risk sabotaging the peace process. President Kiir and Mr. Machar have until the 22nd of February to form a transitional government. Closed-door meetings between the two leaders held early this week in Ethiopia's capital, Addis Ababa, but ended with both sides failing to agree. The South Sudan government wants 32 states, while the former rebels want a return to the initial 10 states. However, President Kiir has told the Intergovernmental Authority on Development, IGAD, that he will consult further and report back on the 15th of February. The people of Sudan, especially in the Darfur region, are hopeful in the wake of the agreement made between the Sudanese government and rebel groups in the region. Both parties say all those wanted by the International Criminal Court should appear before the tribunal, including former President Omar Al-Bashir. However, a lawyer for the ousted president says the autocrat is rejecting the plan.
Sudan's ousted President Omar Hassan al-Bashir is a step closer to appearing before the International Criminal Court on charges of war crimes, genocide and crimes against humanity in Darfur. That's after Sudan's government and Darfur rebel groups agreed on Tuesday that all those wanted by the ICC should appear before it. Authorities did not specifically name the ex-president, but announced the decision applies to all 5 suspects wanted by the ICC, of which Bashir is one.
Justice cannot be achieved without the appearance of those who face arrest warrants before the ICC. We cannot run away at all from facing those who have committed crimes against humanity and war crimes committed against innocent people in Darfur and other places. We need justice to heal the wounds.
But Bashir, who has been jailed in Khartoum since he was toppled by mass protests last year, refuses to deal with the court. According to his lawyers, he believes the Hague-based ICC is a political court and its allegations against him are part of a Western conspiracy. However, on the streets of Khartoum, protesters march holding banners and waving flags, asking that revolution demands be met. For this protester, all she wants is peace.
We want peace in any way possible in this country. If the movements approve of ex-President Omar al-Bashir appearing before the ICC, and if this is what they want, then there is no problem.
Those charges relate to the Darfur conflict between 2003 and 2008, when a mainly non-Arab rebellion in the western region was suppressed. Government forces and mostly Arab militia were accused of widespread atrocities. Bashir faces 5 counts of crimes against humanity for murder, forcible transfer, extermination, torture and rape, 2 counts for war crimes for attacks against civilians, and 3 counts of genocide.
Let's get some analysis on these developments. Joining us now is Professor Bola Akinteriwa, the Director General of Bolitech Center for International Diplomacy and Strategic Studies. Thank you, Professor, for speaking to us.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I want to ask firstly, what were your initial thoughts on this agreement between the government and Darfur rebels to hand over 5 people wanted for war crimes, including former President Omar Al-Bashir?
I thought of 2 things. The first thought was about the fact that the people of Darfur are really seeking peace. They want peace. And therefore, they agreed to the agreement, making it quite legitimate. So I think that the quest for legitimacy is perfectly in order. My second thought is simply that when I consider the fact that not less than 300,000 people had been killed, when I remember that thousands of people had been seriously and recklessly brutalized, and that more than 2.5 million people were actually internally displaced by the government's instrument, the Janjaweed, I think that looking for an agreement to find a basis, a foundation for a lasting peace in Sudan is a desideratum. So in this case, my thoughts are that, look, people should try to forgive and forget. And that's the way I look at the agreement.
Yeah, indeed, it was a brutal time for the Darfuris in 2003. Well, initially, military leaders, they ruled out surrendering Bashir to The Hague. They said he would be tried back at home. But now the tone appears to have changed. What does this say about Sudan's judicial system?
Well, I think that the judicial system is dynamic, like any other one. There is no judicial system that is static, static the world over. The beauty of it all is that, look, the dynamics for the change cannot be far-fetched. If you remember that in November 2019, I think November 29, there was this new law that was made. And the law was simply to ensure that anything left of the Bashir regime is removed. So in this case, that is certainly consistent with that. By April, when he was ousted, that was a manifestation of that. The second point that Sudan, you must recall, is what we should call a situation country, according to the ICC, the International Criminal Court. Why? Because it was the United Nations Security Council that referred the matter to the ICC. So, Sudan actually is not a state party to the statutes of the International Criminal Court. Therefore, on the basis of sanctity of agreements, Sudan is not pretty bound, all right, to be held accountable. However, because the United Nations Security Council has the international mandate to maintain peace and security the world over, and to ensure that all these genocidal and crimes against humanity are sanctioned, the UN Security Council referred the matter to the ICC. But it was thanks to the African Union leaders, which opposed it and argued that they do not want any sitting president to be tried. And that to wait until they will have left office. So this is what is responsible largely for that. More importantly, Sudan needs the assistance of the United Nations, particularly the UN Security Council. So since the UN Security Council is the one that referred the matter to the ICC, I think it is more or less of a necessity for the incumbent government in Sudan to quickly change their position. They say they wanted to try at home in Sudan. That cannot be pleasing to the international community. Lessons must be learned. And conclusively, let me make the point that, look, if Al-Bashir is not tried at the ICC, that will continue to encourage six-side regime, and more importantly, the military-turned politicians becoming heads of state in Africa. We never learn any lesson. So if it's tried, then it will be a good signal to all of them. It will serve as a deterrence.
Yeah, all right. We'll just have to wait and see how it all pans out. But thank you so much, Professor Bola Akiterewa, Director General of the Bolitag Center for International Diplomacy and Strategic Studies. Thank you so much for speaking to us.
Thank you.